Okay, thank you so much for checking back on Grazio Art. This is my final critique on, I'm sorry, not the critique, the analysis of The Last Jedi. This is the second part to my analysis. It is the final part, and I'm just going to continue from where I left off. Basically, what I wanted to say, I think my last video I had ended basically describing why Kylo Ren had gone over to the dark side and how it was understandable, and also how that led to Luke Skywalker becoming a hermit, basically isolating himself from everybody, going to the farthest planet away from everybody, and just hiding out there, running away from his mistakes. Those were the good aspects that I saw in the film, and they do deserve an honorable mention, and I thought that was really, really well done. Now, this is already going towards the end of the movie. Basically, another good thing that I wanted to point out was towards the end of the movie, the Resistance is basically dwindling in numbers, and they hide out on this old rebel base. And there's only a few rebel fighters left, and they're basically gonna wait it out here in this cave as the Empire is attacking them. However, they do feel a little desperate because of the little defenses that they do have. They don't feel it's adequate enough, and they do feel like they're gonna die. This is gonna be the last fight, and they are afraid that the light of the Resistance is going to fall, or it's going to get put out. And in this scene, the only good thing I want to mention is that there is a final confrontation between Kylo Ren and Luke Skywalker. Now, you don't see Luke Skywalker travel. You don't see Luke Skywalker, make a decision to go to where this final standoff is. He just appears. And that is kind of intriguing, because you do ask yourself, where did he come from? And but basically he appears in this cave. He says hello and goodbye to his sister, Princess Leia, and he goes out to confront Kylo Ren. And basically at the same time, what he's doing is he's buying the Resistance some time, so that they could find an alternate route to escape and just get the heck out of there, which I thought was a good move. It was a smart move. But what I really like about the final confrontation is that there is a lightsaber battle from Kylo Ren trying to kill Luke Skywalker, and there's several moves that Luke Skywalker does to dodge Kylo Ren's lightsaber. And even though it's not an intense lightsaber to lightsaber fight, it is an intense moment because it's very emotional and it's very dramatic. Kylo Ren's hate for Luke Skywalker and trying to get revenge for Luke Skywalker trying to kill him. His anger is present, and then you see Luke Skywalker's peaceful manifestation, in where he, instead of fighting Kylo Ren, he just dodges every single swing Kylo Ren throws at him. And eventually Kylo Ren does swing at him. He does hit Luke Skywalker, but it turns into a very transcendental moment, because the lightsaber just goes through Luke Skywalker, and he doesn't go down. It doesn't cut him. And you see that Luke Skywalker is actually still on the planet where Rey found him, and he's actually sitting on this rock, and he's meditating. And what he's doing is that he's actually projecting an astral projection of himself to where Kylo Ren is. So Kylo Ren isn't actually fighting the Luke Skywalker. He's just talking to this astral projection of Luke Skywalker, and I really, really liked that scene. That was a really good scene, and that was a very good use of the Force, because a Jedi can do that. And the astral projection of Luke talking to somebody, of Luke touching someone, of Luke dealing with somebody while his actual physical body is somewhere else, thousands of miles or millions of miles in this case away. That reminded me of so many religions, just like the Buddhist religions. I know that the Buddhist monks do, or they claim to have that ability where they can project themselves in another area, and their physical body is in one area, but their projection can be anywhere else, and they can communicate with somebody through that mental state. And then that reminded me of the religions that we do have here in real life, and the supposed practices that they do. So I thought that was a real nice touch. And again, because this movie is a paradox on the good things do lead to bad things. What I didn't understand is that when Luke Skywalker, he's not actually there, it's just his astral projection. What I don't understand is that Luke Skywalker does die, and I don't understand how he dies, because he's not actually in any physical danger. He doesn't commit suicide either. He's not that. It's not that kind of a film. But I think he just makes a decision to become one with the Force, and he vanishes. So whenever a Jedi dies, their physical body vanishes because they, in body and soul, become one with the Force. That's what happens. In this case, Luke does not suffer any physical damage, but I guess he just makes a decision to die, and he becomes one with the Force, so he just leaves his clothes behind, and his body and soul have become one with the Force. I didn't understand the logic to that. Okay? I really didn't understand the logic to that, and I thought it was just a bad move. And it was kind of sad, too, because we all like Luke Skywalker. We all like the original characters. And seeing them being killed, one by one, it's kind of a letdown. And I think everybody who came out watching that film felt like they had just gone to a funeral, somebody's funeral that they cared about, And when you go to a funeral, obviously, you're not going to go and have a good time. It's somebody that you care about. They died, and you're saying your goodbyes to that person. And that's the way this movie felt. It's like we were saying goodbye to somebody that we cared about. And it was kind of sad. It was depressing and unnecessary. Because the actor, Mark Hamill, he's still alive. Okay, there was no real need to kill off Luke Skywalker, and I think they're just doing it to make room for these new actors and these new characters who just don't hold their own weight in the movie. I really don't care about Poe, the X-wing fighter pilot. I don't care about Finn. I really don't care about him. I really don't care about Rey. And unfortunately, the actress Carrie Fisher, the actress who portrays Princess Leia, well, she's dead in real life, She actually died in real life, and I don't think anybody saw that coming. So there's no possible way to bring her back for Episode 9. They might do some CGI of her face over another actress's body the way they did in Rogue One, but I think that's a stretch because, as far as I know, that is an expensive special effect. So, there was a good thing. I thought it was very artistic the way our Luke Skywalker dies. It was very in accordance with the Force and the way Jedis die, but I thought it was very unnecessary and uncalled for, and also it was very depressing to see. So, it was a good scene, artistically done, but story-wise, it was a bad choice. So, and that's the thing about this movie. It was a paradox. There was a lot of good things about this movie, but those good things led to bad to bad decisions and bad endings. And there is a slight conversation between Kylo Ren and Luke Skywalker where Kylo Ren threatens Luke Skywalker to kill every single Jedi in the galaxy, and that Luke Skywalker will be the last Jedi. And then Luke Skywalker says, everything you said about that statement is wrong, and, he's not going to destroy the Jedi, and he's not going to be the last Jedi. And basically, you cut to the scene. The Rebel Alliance, or what's left of the Rebel Alliance, escapes through another side of this cave that they were in, and they get on the Millennium Falcon and they leave. And basically, what you see is something that doesn't really make a lot of sense, where if Yoda burned down that tree where these old texts of the Jedi were burned, and the Jedi are over, and he even says that to Luke Skywalker, the Jedi are no more, how can we expect to see any other Jedis, even if they're not under that title, in any of the other films? So the last scene is basically some random kids who are basically slaves, similar to the way Anakin Skywalker was a slave in the prequels. And there's this guy that they're working for who's basically just ordering them around. And one kid already has a little bit of the natural ability of the Force, where he grabs a broom to go clean outside, but instead of grabbing it, he actually uses the Force to attract the broom to his hand, and then he starts sweeping the floor. And they try to do this montage, or this special scene that's like the last scene of the movie, where this little kid throws on some sort of cloak, and you see his silhouette from the back against the backdrop of the sky filled with stars, and he's holding the broom like a lightsaber. So since you just see his silhouette, you see a cloaked figure holding what looks like a lightsaber, even though it's just a broom. And that just tries to tell you that the Jedi are not over, and that the story will continue, which doesn't really make any sense, considering that Yoda and Luke Skywalker had said that the Jedi are basically over, and the end of the Jedi has come. So just make up your minds. Is this the end of the Jedi, or are we going to go see more? Don't say one thing and then just show me another thing. And that just leads to, again, to my point about the bad writing of this film, and how one thing contradicts another, and it doesn't do that in a good way. It's not an artistic way to do it. It's just you're just contradicting yourself. And what's most sad about this movie, way at the end, is that even though they do show that, I found myself as an audience member not really caring what happens in episode 9. So depending on what they show in the trailers of episode 9, when that comes out, I guess in 2019 or 2020, I don't know, I might go see it. But as of right now, with the way episode 8, The Last Jedi, left me, I'm not really caring what happens to the characters. I mean, Luke Skywalker's dead. Okay, he might come back in spirit form, the way Obi-Wan Kenobi came back in spirit form. But, what the hell is he going to do? He didn't do anything in The Force Awakens, because he comes out in the last scene. He didn't do anything in The Last Jedi, even though he did have some good scenes. What the hell is he going to do in episode 9? And even if he does do anything, I myself don't care what happens. And that's sad, because I really like Star Wars, and I really like this story. And we're already at the second movie of this trilogy. And I just don't care what happens, And like I said, depending on what they show on the trailer, that might make me want to go see this movie. That might happen whenever that trailer comes out. And if there's something interesting, I might go see that movie. But as of right now, with the way The Last Jedi left and the way it ended, I really don't care about what happens to any of the characters. I don't care what happens to Poe. I don't care what happens to Rey. I don't care what happens to Finn. I know what's going to happen, because I can tell you that they're going to pull off this Return of the Jedi thing, where they're going to tell you that Kylo Ren and Rey are actually brother and sister. Okay, I'm letting you know that right now, so don't be surprised, because they're, like I said before, they are ripping off the original trilogy. They're not doing anything new. They're not doing anything special. They're not doing anything creative. They're not doing anything genuine, real, different. Okay, they're just ripping off the other movies. So, is this a good movie? Well, no, it's not a good movie. Is this The Last Jedi a bad movie? Well, no, it's not a bad movie. It's a paradox, that has some good things and it has some bad things. At the end of the day, those good things that it has, I wish that, for example, the fight scene was Kylo Ren and Rey when they're fighting together against these bodyguards of Emperor Snoke. I wish that they had originally that they had started this trilogy with Kylo Ren and Rey being brother and sister. They're Jedi's, and Rey loses her brother to the dark side. I wish they had started that. I wish they had started the franchise that way, and then you see the destruction of this relationship, brother and sister relationship, and you see how Rey loses her brother and how she tries to recuperate him. But they didn't do that. They just started out with wanting to be original and wanting to do this thing where you don't know who Rey is, and Kylo Ren's a bad guy, and he dresses up like Darth Vader, and that's supposed to be fun and interesting, and it's not. It's a cheap ripoff, and I wish they had gone another route. The one thing I do want to say is that the director Rian Johnson does have talent. The one thing that has to be said is that he was able to create a story, because there is a story here in this movie, The Last Jedi, even though it's very weak. There is a story here to follow. He was able to create something out of nothing. And with The Force Awakens, with the way it began, the way it ended, there is nothing to build. So if you had given me the movie Episode 8, The Last Jedi, and if you had asked me to make something out of that, I wouldn't have been able to do anything, because I'm like, well, I have nothing to work with. And Rian Johnson was able to create something out of trash, out of nothing. So I think he deserves merit or an award just for doing that. He did not make a great film, but he was able to make a continuation out of absolutely, and I'm going to say it again, absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. There's nothing here. There's no reason for us to be here. And he was able to make a good story, out of just scraps. Now, like I said, this is not a good movie, but it's not a bad movie either. Am I going to buy this movie on DVD? No, I'm not. Okay. It's worth checking out for free if you ever get it on Netflix. Do not pay to go see this movie. Do not buy the DVD, because you are going to get let down. Yeah, so just check it out for free if you ever find it somewhere. I know sometimes the library might have a copy of it. Check it out that way, but do not pay to go see this movie. Do not go buy the DVD. It is not worth it. It's worth a look, but it's not worth your money to see it. So that is the end of my analysis of Return of the Jedi. Like I said before, and I keep saying it again, it is a paradox. It does have some good things. It does have the energy. Unfortunately, the energy is misplaced on these characters that we just don't really care about, and we don't really know, and I don't want to get to know them either. The fight scene with Rey and Kylo Ren, I thought it was a good scene, but it's unfortunate that they're not fighting together as two Jedis, brother and sister. They're fighting as a bad guy who turns into a good guy and teams up with this chick. They defend themselves against these bodyguards, and then the bad guy, who was just a good guy, turns into a bad guy again for absolutely no reason. And that's unfortunate. The energy is here, but the spirit is there, but physically, it's just wasted on everybody, even Luke Skywalker. And that's just unfortunate. So check out the movie, but do it for free. Do not pay to go see it. That's my opinion. And like I said, I saw the movie, but I don't see myself buying the DVD. I really don't. And I'm the guy who bought the prequels. So I do have the prequels, episode 1, episode 2, episode 3. And I see them from time to time. But yeah, for me not to buy this movie, it's because it's just not worth it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my analysis of The Last Jedi. Stay tuned. If you like this video, please subscribe, please like, please share, and check out my other videos. I do have other art projects that I've done. I do have drawings, customs, models that I've done, wood carvings. So please go to my channel, check out my other videos. There's more art to come. There's also more movie reviews to come. Yesterday I did do a piano lesson, so if you're interested in learning the piano, I can definitely go ahead and teach you that. And give me some feedback. Let me know. Let me know what you guys like. Let me know what you guys want to see in the future. If you have any projects that you wish somebody would do, let me know about it, and maybe I'll go ahead and take it on like an art project. And I am going to put a link to my PayPal account here. So if you want to go ahead and make a donation, go ahead and make a donation, and that'll keep the videos coming to you. And, I hope you guys stay tuned. Recommend this channel to your friends, family, anyone who's interested. And, thank you so much for checking Grazio Arts, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.